Have you ever heard the phrase bleeps and bloops? I haven't. Just kidding. I pulled a few examples of the phrase from the comments on our YouTube channel over the years. That's what I like with modular. I can explore the sound in many ways, and not just bleeps and bloops. Strega introduces an alchemical flair that will make regular bleeps and bloops into magic. Awful, unexciting blips and bloops like everybody's worst stereotype of modular synths. Bleep bloop madness! Congrats on 10 years. May the bleeps and bloops continue for many, many more. To me, blip, blop, bleep, bleep, bloop does not make a song, and just because people are taking
Crocker
and flailing and sweating when they're listening in a club does not make it a song. A song is something you can sing or hum or whistle. Oh, sorry, that last one put me to sleep. Anyway, one thing I noticed is that bleeps and bloops are pretty much always mentioned together as a pair. What is one without the other? And which is which anyway? When I think bleeps, I almost think more of sounds used to remove certain words from a broadcast, like
the inputs provide an additional modulation destination.
And bloops brings to mind bloopers. Like, in playing Strega, the alchemical... I was sitting here, and later he moved to the United States, where he was picked... and I haven't heard anything backwards happen ever since. No. And I haven't heard any... But I'd wager that at least 90% of patches on modular... But I'd wager that at least 90% of reversing this... as not only our most voice models, and that same signal path lives on in... So yeah, I couldn't quite figure out which is which. So let's make a patch that definitively contains both bleeps and bloops and try to make them fit together. Just from the timbre of the vowels used in the two words, I'm thinking, and stop me if this is kind of basic, but I'm thinking maybe bleeps are higher pitched and bloops are lower pitched. So I've tuned the two oscillators of the DPO to a lower and higher octave. We'll use the final output with its continually variable timbre at a higher pitch for the bleeps, and VCOA with its sawtooth for the bloops. And I'm setting the Optimix channel control a little lower on the sawtooth to filter out the highest portion of that bloop sound and keep it from encroaching on bleep territory. Now, let's use Renee's X channel as the bloop channel and the Y channel as the bleep channel. One way to let them interact is to make these two sequences short, but not exactly the same length. Here I have the X sequence at 4 steps, Y at 5 steps. Remember, the bloops are an octave down from the bleeps. Right now, each channel is set to output at a 1 octave range. I can expand the bloops to 2 octaves without going much higher up than the bleeps, and they're still mildly filtered by the Optimix channel. Let's add some subtle timbre shifts to the bleeps via the DPO Modbus. Instead of running this whole mix through the echophone, let's echo just the bleeps. I often find that echoes can sound indistinct and murky on lower pitches, which can be fun, but I'm looking for a more precise sound. So we'll take the Optimix channel out with the bleeps, patch it through echophone at full way. then back into the aux input on Optimix. This input will appear louder at the sum than the individual channel outputs, so we'll keep the Echophone's input gain control pretty heavily tempered. Let's also tempo sync it. I already had it tempo synced, in fact. Here's what it sounds like not tempo synced. And let's tempo sync it again. Let's modulate the pitch with the sine output of the same VCO. Actually, let's try it out with the sines from each VCO and hear how it's different. These sequences are in tune with each other, so even the lower frequency one has a nice sound when utilized on the echoes of the higher pitched one. Let's check it out with both feedback loops too. The left feedback loop runs the sound through the pitch shifter again with each new repeat, which can make it echo out of audibility a little more easily instead of building up forever. Now for some real bleep action, I'd like to add some little pitch flourishes. Let's take this cycling maths channel and use it at the YCV input with fun.cv.add to increase the bleep. Let's modulate the speed of that cycle as well using Woggle CV. This might be what separates the bleeps from the beeps, yeah? We can do the same on the bloop channel. Let's use a slower tempi output to trigger the other maths channel and patch that function to XCV. I think I will use sample and hold instead of add with the copy of the same clock that is clocking the channel, and that will make these pitch changes always timed with the clock and make the bloop channel sound a little more rock solid. here today. Honestly, I'm not sure I learned anything. It's just a bunch of stuff that happened. But if you ask me, it's always worthwhile to take a little time to explore the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Thanks for watching, and happy patching.